You know that dream of hitting your first six figures in your online business? What if you could hit that in a single month? I'm here to tell you it's not just possible, it can happen faster and easier than you think when you double down on a proven system. In this video, I am taking you behind the scenes of the exact cash injection strategy I used to hit my first 100K month and how I've been able to repeat that multiple times since. Now, if we haven't met yet, my name is Jordan Maylea, and I give entrepreneurs the blueprint to grow your audience and automate your sales so you can build a business that works for you 24/7 and you don't have to. And if you've been following along in this series, then you already know I use automated funnels to generate daily leads and sales in my business and scale to 20K months. I use these exact same funnel strategies to help my clients go from no sales to 20K months in as little as 90 days. And I truly believe this is the best way to start and grow your personal brand because it allows you to start generating consistent, repeatable income quickly while building your audience at the same time. So if you want to see the two funnels that I use and share with my students to go from those no sale months to consistent 20K months, you can grab my free automated sales funnel blueprint. Inside this resource, I break down the flow of my two most profitable funnels. I outline the pages you need to include, the automations, the emails, so you know exactly what to put in place if you want to hit 20K months in your own business with automation. Now, in my last video, I talked about building on the foundation of your automated funnels with what I call a scalable offer suite and layering it with monthly recurring revenue. Now, this is essentially your product portfolio, and this is how you scale from 20K months up to 50K months and beyond in a really streamlined and focused way that benefits both you and your audience. And today I want to talk about one of the most fun aspects of my profit system, and that is what I call quarterly cash injection campaigns. So a cash injection campaign is essentially a launch. There are so many ways to do it. I'm going to share one of my favorites with you in this video, but before we get into this, let me preface it with this. Way back in 2015, I purchased a program that taught me how to create a webinar and use it to launch my digital course. I spent weeks going through the content. I prepared the slide deck, wrote the emails, promoted it on social media. I got the first module of the course ready to sell. And this was my first attempt at creating and selling anything online. So I had no audience, no influence, no proven offer. I had 18 people sign up for my free webinar. One person purchased. It was a personal friend who I had known for years. And I had to refund her money because the amount she paid wasn't even enough to cover 1 month of the software I was using to host the course. Now, I would love to tell you that I got right back on the horse and my next launch was a blooming success, but the truth is it took me 2 years to even think about creating anything else to sell online. I was so burned by that experience that I ended up growing my business to multiple six figures with my two automated funnels before I ever did another launch. And now looking back, I don't think I needed to wait that long. I think I probably hurt myself by not doing it a little bit sooner. But one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make as a new entrepreneur is they see all these gurus doing these huge launches and they think that is the best way to get their business off the ground. And I've even had students who have observed my launches from the outside looking in, and then they go and try to emulate the process in their own business. They end up putting weeks and weeks into the preparation, so much energy, so much effort, so much time, only to be left feeling super discouraged and exhausted because although they appeared to copy my strategies, the results didn't translate. Now, the reason this happens is because their business just wasn't at the right stage yet to leverage those launch strategies, just like mine wasn't back in 2015. And this is why I don't teach launching for brand new entrepreneurs. You are much better off getting two really solid automated funnels up and working for you so you can focus on growing your audience and scaling to that first six figures. Then you can have some fun with some cash injection campaigns like the one I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now, all that being said, if you're like me, you already have this huge vision for your business and for where it's going. And it's not a matter of if you're going to have your first 100K month. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So let me break it all down for you, share exactly what I would do to have that first 100K month so you will be ready. And I'm going to start by giving you a bird's eye view of the entire process. And then I'm going to share my real results from my own cash injection campaign that delivered my first 100K month. So once your automated funnels are up and running, you can create additional cash flow by utilizing what I call a quarterly cash injection campaign 4 times a year. There are so many things you can do as a cash injection campaign, and it could be something like a launch of a brand new offer, a special promo on an existing offer. It could be a joint venture with an affiliate who has an offer that aligns with your audience. Really, the only limit is your imagination. And regardless, every quarterly cash injection campaign has the same 3 parts: the pre-launch, the event, and the open cart period. So the pre-launch is where you prep your audience for what is coming. This typically runs for 4 to 6 weeks leading up to the event. And in the pre-launch phase, you want to shift your content so that it all starts centering around the topic of whatever it is you'll be selling. So let's say, for example, you help moms prioritize their health with simple fitness and nutrition habits that they can fit into their busy lifestyle. Let's say you have a couple of automated funnels, a free resource that links to a low-ticket 30-day workout guide, and an automated funnel that sells your fitness membership, where moms can get workouts and meal plans. These are selling for you 24/7, but let's say that you want to run a group program, a 12-week full body transformation bootcamp with a community, daily workouts, meal plans, all the things that a busy mom needs to hit all of her fitness goals in a 90-day sprint. Now, this would be a perfect opportunity to run a quarterly cash injection campaign. And in the pre-launch, you could create a shift in your content where you start talking about the value of 90-day sprints in your fitness routine. You can share about the importance of having accountability, about creating meal plans that align with your unique fitness goals, about sharing simple exercises that moms can do at home with no equipment. So you want to think about any objections that your audience might have to enrolling in your bootcamp. You could use your content to knock over those dominoes and address those objections in advance. So for example, why would I pay for a bootcamp when I could just watch YouTube videos for free? Well, you could create a video on why random exercises you find on YouTube aren't enough to help you hit your fitness goals, and instead you need a comprehensive plan that combines the right workouts, the right nutrition, the right support, and accountability that you need to hit your goals. So once you get through the pre-launch, it's time for what we call the event. Now, for most launches, this is some kind of live component, like a webinar, a 3 to 5 day workshop, a free challenge. There are so many different kinds of events that work. It really just comes down to choosing the strategy that aligns best with your personality and what you feel will land best with your audience. So you want to start promoting the event on social media and to your email list 10 to 14 days before it happens. So at this point, all your content is going to shift. Instead of using your automated funnels as the call to action in your social media content, you're going to start using your event as the CTA. And if you plan to run ads, this is where you would turn those on as well. So the event itself is where the magic happens. You lead with free value, then you sell your paid offer at the end. Now, if you're running a webinar, you're going to want to give value for at least 60 minutes before you start your pitch. If you're running a challenge or a workshop, you'll want to open up the cart near the end of that multi-day event. Now, once the event is over, you move into what I call the open cart period. And this is where you continue to promote and sell your offer until a specified deadline, creating urgency for people to buy. Now, for most people, the urgency is going to be the date that the cart will close and the offer will no longer be available. The only exception here would be if you're launching a service or a high ticket offer that only has a limited number of spots. At that point, the urgency would be getting in before it sells out. Now, you're going to want the cart to stay open for 5 to 7 days after your event. And there's no hard or fast rule here, but I typically go with 5 days on offers that are under $1,000 and 7 days for anything over that price point. Okay, so that's the process. Your pre-launch, your event, your open cart. So let me show you how this looks in real life. So for the last few years, I have used cash injection campaigns to sell my signature program, Laptop Lifestyle Academy. Now, one thing that I think really sets me apart in business is I don't get distracted by shiny object syndrome. I am so good at focusing in on one strategy and mastering it instead of jumping from thing to thing. And I decided that I wanted to launch LLA with a 3-day workshop style campaign. So for the pre-launch, I shifted my content on social media to talk more about funnels and sales automation. I created a series on TikTok and Instagram with short video leading up to the launch event. And I created a 4-video series on YouTube for the 4 weeks leading up to the event as well. So this created an opportunity for people to binge my content and get hooked on it like they would with their favorite Netflix show. And it's such a powerful strategy for creating excitement and energy around one specific topic in your business. Now, the event itself was a 3-day workshop where I gave value for the first couple of days, and then I opened up the cart on day 3. I broke down the different phases of my autopilot profit system. I helped my audience get quick wins. I created a community around the event by having daily homework assignments and having people post their work in our private Facebook community. And then on day 3, the cart opens, and it stays open for 7 days, where I use a combination of email and social media content to encourage people to get in before the doors close. Now, the first time I ever used this strategy, it took 12 weeks to prepare the campaign. I had to choose a topic for the workshop, design all the funnel pages, the slide decks, everything had to be done from scratch. It was so much work, and I remember how nervous I was going into it because I was so new to the entire process. Everything felt foreign. It was really hard for me to wrap my head around it. Now, I'd already been selling LLA for about 8 months using my automated funnels. I'd put about 40 students through the program, so I was confident in the offer. I knew the offer worked, but the launch process itself was so new. So we ended up enrolling 22 students and generating $22,000 from that first launch event. Now, here's where it gets really good. 9 months later, I repeated it again. The same funnels, the same workshop, the same slide decks, the same offer, the same emails. Now, I did make some adjustments to the pieces that felt clunky or didn't convert well the first time. And the second time through, I ended up enrolling 50 students and closing $61,000 in sales. But it gets even better because now I felt like this launch process was proven. So I looked at all the pieces of the workshop, I optimized pieces that still just didn't feel right, and I repeated the entire thing again 9 months later. So again, same funnels, same emails, same slide decks, little tweaks here and there, but they were so minor, I don't think anybody would notice them except for me. The difference? This time we leveraged paid ads. I felt so confident doing this because I had done this launch twice before. I knew it converted. So leading up to the launch, I spent 3 months growing my email list with paid ads, and then we spent $10,000 in ads in the 10 days leading up to the workshop, encouraging people to register. Now, I say I was confident, but I was also absolutely terrified, okay? I had a great team helping me out. I had an ads manager who was handling all the ads. I had a team member who was helping me coach our students during the free workshop. Another team member who was handling all the emails that came in through customer support. So I had a lot of help. And my goal was for this to be our first 100K launch. So you can imagine my absolute freak out when we actually hit 100K in sales on the first day of that launch and ended up with the campaign ending at over $250,000 in sales. Now, I'm gonna break down everything that went into that day during our next video because let me just say, it kind of deserves its own story, okay? It was wild. But before I wrap this video up, I wanna draw your attention to some very important points that are gonna benefit you right now. If I were to add up all the hours that I put into that very first launch, the one that earned me 22K, I don't think I even would have made minimum wage. And don't get me wrong, I was thrilled with a 22K launch. But when you think about the fact that it took 12 weeks to learn and execute that launch, pouring hundreds of hours into the process leading up to that campaign, and the work that went into the 3-day workshop and the 7-day open cart period, it was truly one of the most difficult things I've done in my career. Everything felt new to me. I was really slow at everything. I was second guessing myself. Nothing was done ahead of time. I remember editing slide decks right up until 2 to 3 minutes before I was supposed to go live every day during the workshop. Now I got the day 3 slide deck done, actually a little bit in advance, a whole day in advance, and then I had a total panic attack, decided the whole thing felt wrong. I said, this doesn't sound like anything I would say in real life, so I deleted it and started over with less than 12 hours before I was supposed to present that slide deck. So looking back, it literally felt like I was running around putting out fires all day, every day, at least for a couple of weeks leading up to the workshop, throughout the entire 3 days and the whole week that the cart was open. And I totally could have quit after that first launch. I could have said that was way too much work for way too little pay. But instead, I refined it. I analyzed what worked, what could have worked better. I made some simple shifts, and the next time I launched, it was so much more smooth. And instead of 22K, I made 61K. And I will never forget it because our family had just come home from Walt Disney World the week before. I caught COVID on the plane. I did the entire launch with 102-degree fever, stopping every few minutes throughout the workshop to blow my nose, and then collapsing in bed to take a 2-hour nap every day as soon as it was done. The next time, I didn't get sick, okay? And this was when I had a whole team of people working to help me execute. We poured money into ads, and we had our first 100K day. And when we executed it again a few months later, we had a 100K day again. And this never would have happened if I continued to jump around from strategy to strategy to strategy instead of plugging into a system and committing to refining it until it worked the way I wanted. So this lesson doesn't just apply to this launch strategy. It applies to every facet of your business. Anytime you try a new strategy or master a new skill, it's going to feel hard. But it's not hard, it's just new. So of course something's gonna feel stressful, overwhelming. It's gonna feel like a ton of work the first time that you do it. Of course you're gonna second guess and doubt yourself. Of course you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna look back and you're gonna see some places where you should have done things differently. And this isn't just business, it's life. And the sooner we recognize that life and business are about mastering the mundane things and doing our best to get just a little bit better every single day, the more fun we're gonna have, the more wins we're going to celebrate. Okay, so this video got a little longer than I intended, but I really wanted to walk you through the whole process without leaving out any pieces. And remember, none of this would have happened. None of it would have worked at all without me having the right automated funnels installed in my business to steadily grow the list and bring in daily sales. It's the foundation that sets up every other aspect of your business. And if you don't have that in place yet, then I encourage you to grab my free automated sales funnel blueprint, where I break down the 2 funnels that I used to go from stuck to 20K months in just 9 days. You can grab them at globalfreedomcommunity.com/funnel, and I will link them below for you as well. Just don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then join me back here next week for the last video in this series. I'm going to be breaking down everything that goes into having a 100K day in your business. And this process is 90% mindset and 10% strategy. So get ready for some massive aha moments that are going to serve you regardless of where your business is right now. I can't wait to see you there. And thank you so much for watching.